tobacco, caffeine, alcohol, and marijuana, they're all drugs. When used in small doses, they can all be pretty harmless, but if abused, they can all be quite harmful to our bodies. Even though all of these drugs can be harmful if abused, of those four, only marijuana is prohibited. Why? And that brings me to the topic I'd like to discuss with you guys today. Should we legalize marijuana? When I say should we legalize marijuana, I don't mean legalize medical marijuana like 15 or 16 of our states already have and 15 others are considering. I mean legalize marijuana, period. Legalize it, regulate it, tax it, and educate people about the dangers of abusing it like we do with tobacco and alcohol. So I'd like to talk to you guys today about some of the reasons why we should legalize marijuana, such as we're going to save money on enforcing $8 billion that year on enforcing prohibition. So right off the bat, if we legalize marijuana, we're going to save $8 billion a year trying to keep it out of the hands of people. The next reason we should legalize marijuana is we're going to gain money on taxing the revenue. We're going to gain revenue on taxing the sale of marijuana. Another 2010 study by the Cato Institute estimates that we gain about $8.7 billion a year from taxing the sale of marijuana. So we're going to save $8 billion on enforcing prohibition, and we're going to gain $8.7 billion on taxing the sale. The final reason we should legalize marijuana is we're going to decrease the burden on our court system. According to some information I found on alternate.org, about 750,000 people a year are arrested for the possession of marijuana. These people are clogging up the court system, wasting jail space, and diverting the attention of lawyers, policemen, and judges away from more serious crimes like rape and murder and terrorism. So, again, those reasons for legalizing marijuana, we're going to gain about $17 billion a year in revenue and increase the efficiency of our court system. So, now that we've talked about the reasons for legalizing marijuana, let's talk about the reasons we don't want to legalize marijuana. The first reason we don't want to legalize marijuana is it's considered a gateway drug. And what that means is if you use marijuana, then you're probably going to end up using harder drugs like heroin, crack, cocaine, morphine. A 2008 study by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration suggests that the reasons for that are either by social contact, which means if you're doing marijuana, you're probably going to be around people doing other drugs, and so you'll end up doing the other drugs. Or it's because you get tired of the high that you get from doing marijuana and you seek a better high, so if you do a harder drug. Another reason we don't want to legalize marijuana is we want to keep it out of the hands of our children. If we legalize marijuana, then it's probably going to be more abundant. Some people think that if we legalize marijuana, we're going to be sending the wrong message to children, kind of like saying right now, it's illegal, so it's bad. So if we legalize it, they might say, oh, maybe it's not so bad, I can try it. But marijuana, just like any other drug, is terrible for children because their bodies and brains haven't developed completely, so we definitely want to keep it out of the hands of our children. The final reason we don't want to legalize marijuana is it can be addicting. According to some information I found on drugabuse.gov, long-term abuse of marijuana can lead to addiction. Addiction can lead to problems with family, work, and school life, and eventually you might spiral out of control and end up costing us all money as taxpayers. And so, what we were talking about was whether or not we should legalize marijuana, and the reasons for were we're going to gain about $17 million in revenue and increase the efficiency of the court system. And the reasons against were it's a gateway drug, we don't want it in our children's hands, and it's addicting. And so, in conclusion, I just want to tell you guys that these reasons I just gave you before, for and against legalizing marijuana, they're not the best reasons for or against it, they're just the best that I could fit in this time period. And, you know, like I told you at the beginning, the DHS says about half of adults have tried marijuana, so this is something that has or will affect a large majority of us. So I would encourage you guys to go out and do your own research and think about it and figure out where you stand for or against legalizing it. That's it. Any questions?